I want you to judge me. I want you to get it over with and just judge me now, because I am not perfect. I am far from perfect. And so just get it over with and just judge me now, because I'm here not for myself, not to share my story. I'm here for you. And for 5 years I've wanted to speak. But I've been so afraid to speak and share my words and my voice because of judgment, because of shame, because I felt like I just wasn't good enough. I felt that why would people want to listen to me when I don't have the right credential? But I'm here to tell you I've got some life cred. I've got a whole lot of life cred. I'm 1,000 years old. So, okay, get it over with. Judge me now. Think your worst thoughts. Judge my appearance, my hair. I did it myself. Judge my makeup. Did it myself. Judge this dress. Borrowed it from my friend. Judge me, because I need you to judge me now, because then I need to step into love. So here we go. Judge me. Go. Judge, judge, judge. Are you done? Are we done? Are we done? Okay, good. And I want you to take your hands on your heart and I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to judge yourself, and not in the way that you are not good enough, in the way that you are already enough. I want you to get so deep within yourself that you can feel your heart beating in your hand. And with your eyes closed, resist the pull to open them. Feel into your presence. Feel into this moment, because I put this together for you. So come home to yourself. In this space, there is zero judgment, because I do not allow it. So lay the judgment that you have upon yourself, lay it to rest. Lay your past to rest. Lay everything that no longer truly serves you or brings you happiness. Lay it to rest right now, because the world needs our light. And if you can feel, and if you've tapped into that heartbeat, that is a sign that you're still here, you're alive, and you're well. And beneath the surface of our skin, our body is doing one job and one job only, and that is to keep you alive. Keep your eyes closed, feel into your heart. Know that you are surrounded only by pure, unconditional love from me and from every other person that is by your side. And when you feel the pull and when the words resonate with you, I want you to stand up and be vulnerable with me. Keeping your eyes closed, when you feel the pull, stand up and rise if you have ever felt pain. I want you to stand up and rise if you or someone you know has suffered from a mental illness. I want you to stand up and rise if you have ever felt fear of judgment and shame. I want you to stand up and rise if you have been trying to pretend that you're something that you're not. And I want you to feel into your heart and know that none of that matters. That this life is a journey, it is a roller coaster, and it is for you to experience. And I hope you hit rock bottom, because that is where you get the depth. That is where you see the light. We need the cracks to come through so the light expands in. When you're ready, take a breath in through the nose. A big sigh, get vocal. I want you to open your eyes. And I want you to look at the person next to you who is also standing, also sharing that they have once suffered in some way. And I want you to turn to the person beside you and give that person a hug, even if they're a stranger.
Look at me, sweetheart.
We are a community. We are an amazing force to be reckoned with. Tonight is going to be an amazing night because I'm not here to create followers. I don't give a fuck if you follow me. I'm here to create motherfucking leaders. So tonight we share what we're saying tonight and we go out and be those leaders, okay? Sit down. I feel comfortable now. I feel like you all love me. Okay. So most of you, if you've been following my journey and my story, you kind of know what I'm all about. You know my pain, you know my past, but I'm going to go a little bit more into depth, and I do want to just put it out there to everyone. If you do get triggered easily, just take yourself away and, come back when you feel you're ready. But I want to take it back to 2013, all the way back. In 2013, I started a blog called Mirror My Manifest. Blast from the past. I created that blog because I totally thought that what we think, feel, create, speak, everything is reflected back to us in the mirror. And so that's what the name Mirror My Manifest was all about. But little did I know that you can manifest the good, the bad, and the motherfucking ugly, like the ugly. And 1 year later, in 2014, I was manifesting that ugly. So I'll take you back. I had no idea what was happening, no idea. 2 weeks before I tried to end it all, I was totally fine. So this is a story that might not be like anyone else's suicide attempt or depression, because my diagnosis and my label, and even if you have bipolar, it might be completely different to yours. But this is my story, so you can resonate if you wish, you can heal in the way that you feel, but just know that this is my own story. So around that time in 2014, I just left my job in public relations, and I started doing 2 different accounts, freelancing for myself, and I became totally addicted to being a perfectionist. I was riddled with anxiety if I didn't get enough product placements, and it really consumed me. I was also going through a breakup after about 4.5, 5 years, and the person that left my life, I can't fault, but we literally just grew apart. I was babysitting 5 days a week to this beautiful little girl. I was also doing my yoga teacher training, which was every Sunday for 12 hours, and it was the most heart-opening thing. And my teacher was tough, and he really taught us that if you're going to go out there and heal people, you need to heal yourself, and the only way to heal yourself is get down to the nitty-gritty and the ugly. And so I did it part-time, so I exposed my heart and I cried for hours and I moved my body tirelessly on a Sunday, and then by Monday I was back into the real world. And it just, a whole lot of pressure. I was doing my health coaching studies as well, and around that time I was health coaching people in 2014 that was just totally out of my league. And I just didn't know what to say to people who were going through divorce. I was only 24. So you can imagine that around that time, a whole lot of life was happening to me, and I'm a total yes person. Also around that time, so many opportunities were just coming to me because I was transitioning from this PR chick to this yoga teacher. So I had a lot of opportunities and I said yes too much. All of a sudden, the reality hits that breakup is actually solid, and I have all these expectations and all these things that are piling up that I said yes to, and I forgot that I was a perfectionist and I couldn't do it all perfectly. So now I'm going to take you to 2014 to the 11th of June at 3:05 in the morning. Boom, boom, boom. Send me love. Okay. So my parents were in Europe. They were on a cruise, they were uncontactable. I couldn't reach out to them. I knew I felt really uncomfortable. I never felt depression before, but I was severely depressed. And it came on quite suddenly as well. I reached out to a few people, but I couldn't really vocalize what I was going through in that moment. So I end up at my family house where my brother and his wife and their 2 kids were, and I was like, okay, I'm going to tell them that I'm feeling not good. And the kids were just going crazy. And it wasn't their fault either. And I go, oh, they got too much on their plate. I won't tell them. So I went upstairs to what was my parents' bedroom, because my bedroom was occupied at the time. I was actually living in North Sydney away from home. And I paced my parents' bedroom for 5 hours just doing this. And the internal thoughts were, you're not good enough. Oh my God, you're not going to get that product placement. Oh my God, like how stupid's that? You're not going to get that product placement. Anyway, and just all the I'm not good enough, so I'm not perfect. Just everything that you could say bad about yourself, I was saying it. And I was exhausted. If you walked for 5 hours, you'd probably end up in the city. And so I was walking non-stop to the point where I was hunched over like this, and I just kept going, kept one foot after another, trying to work out my life, I just couldn't stop. And then I put my hand on my heart, and everything in me in that moment said, just go, have a break. I turned to the bed. The first thing that I saw was a blue scarf. So this is trigger worthy, guys. So I saw a blue scarf and I had no idea how to do it. I've never shared this story, ever. And I turn and I look at that scarf and I just wanted to scare the shit out of myself. So I tied the scarf around the curtain rod and I stand on a chair that had wheels at the base and it's floorboard, so super dangerous. I tied it around my neck. And for a moment I pressed up against the wall and I could feel my heart beating and I felt so calm. I felt so relaxed. It was the first moment after 5 hours of pacing that I was actually still. And I look out to the moon's coming down on my face and I just feel so relaxed. And there was no moment of I'm going to jump, I'm going to slide out, I'm going to end my life now, I've had it all, I'm just going to go. It was kind of this moment of I just really am tired and I don't know the way out. And so I fell asleep standing up in the most dangerous position of my entire life. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was just going to unhook it and come down and just really get help the next day. But I was so tired that I fell asleep. And the next thing I know is that I wake up in complete darkness. And I had that metallic taste in my mouth. I had a really sore neck. And then I just realized what I tried to do. And then I find my way up and walk over to the bathroom shaking, still thinking it was a nightmare. And I hover my hand over the switch. And then all of a sudden, my mind says, you manifested the ugly. And I turned the light on and there she was. My thoughts, those horrible thoughts that I was thinking for weeks, were a reflection in the mirror of my suicide attempt. My teeth had bitten through my tongue completely. I had blood everywhere. I had a big bruise around my neck. I had a black eye, I had a scar. It was ugly. And the first thing that I said to my brother, I ran downstairs and I said, I'm a fraud. I am a fraud. And from that day, I knew that I had to make a change. I knew that that moment needed to happen because it's led me to here. And when I went into hospital, I saw so many other people who have been in the darkest of days, even darker than mine, for years, for centuries, seems like. And I said to myself, if I make it through this, then I'm going to go out and I'm going to shine my light when I'm strong enough. And so I'm strong enough. Woo! Thank God. It was a really lonely journey. My parents for about 4 days didn't even know that I was in hospital because they were uncontactable. My sister showed up in my life like no one has ever shown up before. She brought me a diary, and in that diary I wrote and wrote, and it is the most positive, beautiful diary I have ever seen. I reflect back on that diary in the days 2 days after I tried to commit suicide, and in that diary it's talking about how I want to make a change, how I want to really appreciate every sunrise and every sunset, and I really want people to not do what I tried to do and kill themselves. That is my biggest mission. And when I was in hospital, I would walk around. I shared this at the seminar the other day. I'd walk around with my shoulders slumped over and I would sing this song. I'm just a little bit caught in the middle. Life is a maze and love is a riddle. I don't know where to go. I'm feeling alone, I cry. And I don't know why, I'm just a little bit lost in the moment. I am so scared, but I don't show it. I don't know where to go. I'm feeling alone, I cry. And I don't know why. So that song pretty much sums up my first few days in hospital. Lonely. But I knew deep down that there was this big spark of love and I had to be the change. So the moment that was probably the worst moment of my entire life was when I got the diagnosis of bipolar, and my doctor at the time sat me down and said, Nikki, you have bipolar and it's very serious and it's very severe and it can be very debilitating. I was like, holy shit. He actually gave me a book that I actually carried around with me for a few days, and it said how to live with bipolar in capitals, and I I just carried it like a Bible. I was like, this is going to help me until my sister yanked it out of my hands and said, get rid of this shit. But he sat me down and he said, Nikki, we've spoken to your sister and we've spoken to your family, and we're trying to get a plan to get you better and back on track, and we think that your dreams and what you want to achieve is a little bit unrealistic. And I had this wall up. I go, yeah, what? And they were like, well, you want to be a yoga teacher and a health coach, but we just don't think that you should be giving advice. And you've got this trip to Bali soon, and you want to do retreats, and we just don't think that's a good idea, And at this stage, I was crying my eyes out. And I just looked at him and I go, okay, I guess I'm just going to have to accept this because there's no other way out. I guess I'm going to have to accept the fact that I'll go and be a secretary for my dad in his GP practice, and I'll just live a really mundane life. And then deep within me, that soul purpose, that soul passion that's always within you, it's like this burning fire that you just cannot ignore. And if you keep ignoring it, your life is just going to keep screwing up until the moment that you follow that path, everything begins to go into flow. And I said, you know what, let's screw the odds. I can have bipolar and I can be fucking awesome too. And I can actually maybe help another person who has bipolar. And maybe I could shine some light on not just bipolar, not just depression, anxiety, but all mental illnesses and drug and alcohol addictions, because I saw it all. I was in hospital with every one of those amazing human beings. And so I did it. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm so, so proud of myself that every day I woke up, and there were bad days, and even last year I had bad days. But every single setback has led me to get, ricocheted forward. And that's what you need to remember, that every setback is an advance for your future. Get that into your minds, because when you're in the darkest of your days, Just ask yourself, I wonder what I'm growing, like what I'm learning and what I'm going to experience from this. Like, this is magic. For me to look back at my suicide and say, this is magic. Like, that's amazing. And I'm so, so proud of myself. I did fail many, many times. And this is a one big failure story that I'd love to share with you. When I got out of hospital, I did take my medication. It was medication that I'm not on at the moment, so it didn't work for me. And this yoga teacher called me and she goes, no, I know, Nikki, you've only taught one yoga class before, but I need a cover. I've really hurt my back. Can you come and cover for me next week? And at the time I was super grounded, I was super chill. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Sure, I'll do it, no worries. Promoted it, told everyone, oh my God, my first yoga class, guys, come, come, come. Luckily, it was a little bit out of the Sutherland Shire. Luckily, God, you guys probably wouldn't be here tonight if it was in the Sutherland Shire. But, so 1 week forward, I was in a state where I was just riddled with anxiety. So I was like shaking and I couldn't find my car and I didn't know how to get there and it was really, really bad. And I didn't listen to my self-love because my self-love would have been like, cancel, get another cover, listen to yourself. But my ego was like, this is your first yoga class. If you don't do this one, you're going to fail forever. And so I get in the car, I've managed to get myself there. There was 2 yoga classes in a row and they were both already booked out. They had all the clients already there. So anyway, I put the music on and you could tell I was not in a good way. I was shaking. I was just all up in my head. I made everyone do chaturanga and downward dog for an hour and a half. And then I was like, child's pose again, child's pose. While I just paced and just, I wasn't even thinking about the yoga class. I was thinking about what people were thinking of me, just like what Marja was saying. It was this horrible experience to the point where people got up and left. People were waiting outside the door saying, don't go into that next class, she's shit. I could hear them. I was like, you could at least whisper. So anyway, I wait for the next class. 3 people showed up and it was like this pity show up. Like, we heard that you're shit, but we're just going to sit through it. And I just did this long ass meditation about breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, while I'm this nervous wreck that didn't even know how to breathe herself. I call that yoga teacher and I said, I fucked up bad. Really sorry. You don't need to use me again. I'm sorry. And she goes, it's okay. I'm sure you weren't that bad. And I'm like, no, I was. I'm really sorry. I ended up back in hospital a week later. I was in hospital pretty much because of that experience. I was in hospital and the thoughts were like, yeah, you're never going to be a yoga teacher ever again. You're going to fail at everything that you do. What the hell was that? You gave it a good go. That was shit. And anyway, I had awesome friends and awesome family members to remind me that I was cool, I was awesome, and I could do what I could do. And in the Limitless seminar that we were speaking at on Thursday, I really had to do what the others weren't doing. So in the mental hospital, you can imagine that when you think limited thoughts, your body responds in a limited way. So we hunch, we come in, we go within. So I had to not conform to my environment. I had to go and explore this. And I had done all the self-help things, I got all the books, I have all the tools, I know what to do. So Nikki, do it on yourself. So I rolled out the yoga mat every day in the foyer, I did my poses and I expanded my body and I had to say the most powerful affirmation that was the opposite of how I felt, which was, I am powerful, I can do this. I am powerful, I can do this. And just like a broken record, I had to keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it. And I was able to get out of hospital. And then the same yoga teacher calls me and she goes, Nikki, I hurt my back again. I go, you don't have anyone else? And I said, you know what, I'm feeling the fear and I got to do it. And I feel really good about it this time. So I went and I had a full class and some of the same people came again and they looked at me like, oh dear. And I was like, nah, watch this, I'm gonna be wicked. And anyway, so I did the most incredible class. I gave the best Shavasana massage adjustments, sprayed my rose water, and then dropped Mark, I'm out, yep, I'm awesome. And then she got people calling her saying, Nikki, Does she have a twin sister that also does yoga? She was great. And anyway, so when you think that you're going to fail, and then be awesome. So tonight, thank you. So tonight I thought I was literally going to fail. And I was like, if I fail, I'm going to have to do this all again and try a little bit harder. But I think I'm doing okay. I've lost my train of thought. Maddie, do you remember where I was at? Do you know what I'm up to? Okay. Let me just check the time. Oh yes, I'm on time. So I guess what I really want to remind you all is, because we all stood up at the beginning, you all know that we all have pain and we've all have a past that we're not particularly proud of. And maybe you haven't fully experienced it yet, and I never wish it upon anyone, but maybe your day will come, and when it does come, just know that I have your full support along with the people in this room. And this is what the event is about. It is about gaining support and awareness. So when people walk up to you and say, hey, I'm dealing with this, instead we screw up our face and run away. Instead we say, I'm here for you. Let's ride this roller coaster together. And there's this really beautiful description that Brené Brown paints when she's describing sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is when, say there's a hole, there's a well, and you're at the bottom of the well, you're in your darkness. And sympathy is like, oh honey, you okay down there? Oh bless. And then empathy is like, I'm coming down. Are you all right? I'm in this, I'm in there, I'm coming down. So the next time someone shares and bears their soul, go down. You can still protect your energy. You're not going to, catch the virus of bipolar. You're not going to catch the virus of their pain. Just be there for them. Be present. You don't have to say the right things. You think that when someone opens up to you, you must be like, you're reciting already. What is it that you're going to say? Instead, be present and be a space holder. Hold space. Be light. A simple touch. A nice look. Or just say, I am here for you. And with that, I'm going to get everyone up on their feet. Up on their feet. What am I saying? Get my music. I want you to expand your body nice and wide. When you expand your body, your mind expands with it. So feel nice and big. Nice and wide, stretch, stretch, stretch. Good, stretch it out. Now, because there is zero judgment in this room, zero, we're all going to have a bit of a sing and a dance. And the song that I have chosen, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. The meaning behind it is, there's ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no mountain low enough to keep me from getting to you, and to keep you from getting to all the people that you love and care about, okay? So after this song, we're having a little break so you can go to the toilet, get your drinks and everything. But let's raise the roof. Let's raise the roof. Oh, wait, wrong song. Hold on. Okay, guys, start moving. Ain't no mountain high. Ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how. Move out of your seats, guys, come out to the aisle. I'll be there in a hurry, you don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. I'll set you free. I told you you could always count on